this interview with Esther Siambawa Nadaka and Tara Thiani, who are the co-founders of the Africa Counts project and also current students at the United States International University Africa in Nairobi, Kenya. So welcome, Esther and Tara. Thank you very much for doing this interview with us and for talking to us a little bit about how you came up with your project and advice for students looking at how they can use data skills in development. So I guess the first big question is how did the Africa Counts project come about?
So I think I'm going to take that question. Thank you so much, Rachel, for inviting us into your virtual classroom. We are really super excited to be speaking to you and your students. So our project is called Africa Counts. And this project was created in August of 2020. And it was in partial fulfillment of our program at the Millennium Fellowship, which I think Tara will be telling us a little bit more later on. So yes, so basically it's a project that we started off to fulfill our program in the Millennium Fellowship. Yes.
Excellent. And yeah, that leads nicely onto our second question of, well, what is this Millennium Fellowship scheme? What's it all about?
So I think I'll start us off and Esther will continue to give us her view on it. But it's basically, it was started by a couple of students who wanted to find ways where undergraduate students would also be able to help and contribute to bettering our society in terms of looking at the SDGs and all that. So they pick a number of students from different campuses who apply, and together these students come together, form a cohort from the university, and they're able to work on projects that go towards promoting the SDGs and bettering maybe certain sectors in the communities, be it healthcare or environment and the like. So I think that's basically what the Millennium Fellowship is in a nutshell. Yeah, Esther will be able to tell us more.
So I don't know if I could add much more about the Millennium Fellowship, but I think for us, what really stood out about it is the fact that it's specifically geared to undergraduate students. So it's very rare to find fellowships for undergraduate students. So this is just really an amazing project. If you're an undergraduate student interested in social impact, so yes, the Millennium Fellowship is definitely an opportunity for you. Yeah.
Excellent. And how did you come up with the specific idea for your project within the fellowship?
This is quite a story. So initially, Tara and I applied separately to join the Millennium Fellowship, and we were both selected. So after the selection, during the first week, during the first session, we actually had an induction meeting within the cohort from everyone from our campus. So we had a meeting and everyone got to share their idea, what project had they pitched for the Millennium Fellowship. So during the meeting, I listened to Tara's idea and she listened to mine, and we discovered, oh my God, it's so similar. So Tara is a student studying pharmacy. I'm studying epidemiology and biostatistics. So both of us were working towards promoting SDG 3, good health for all. And her idea was almost very similar to mine. So after the meeting, we called each other, we discussed and found out that it was actually possible to merge our two tiny ideas into these insanely ambitious project that is now the Africa Counts project, basically. Yeah, so we merged two ideas into one to promote SDG 3, good healthcare for everybody. Yeah.
Excellent. And what is in a nutshell, what is Africa Counts trying to achieve?
Tara, do you want to go for this one or should I take it?
Take it. anything to add, I'll do that afterwards.
Oh, Tara is always throwing me under the bus. So basically, the Africa Counts project is a project that started off from our passion about healthcare, our passion about research, our passion about data. So what we realize is that the African community or people of color are quite underrepresented in research. It could be, I don't know, it could be intentional, or it could be just, due to circumstances, but it is evident that there is a gap. So the Africa Counts project is basically a project that we started to see if we could contribute in a very, own way towards, reducing this gap and there being more equity in terms of representation of African people. So basically what we do is we would wish to Africa Counts to be a platform where we could advocate for more data to be collected if it hasn't already been collected, for data that is already available to be analyzed and made available for research. And also we could see if Tara and I are also willing to take up some of the research projects ourselves. So secondary data, primary data, and lots of collaboration.
Excellent. Sounds very exciting. And in the fellowship so far, what have you enjoyed the most?
Ooh. Okay, I think I'll take that question. The fellowship, I think there was so much to enjoy, like all that we're able to do and achieve in that space of time. It was such a wonderful opportunity. Like I get so excited just thinking about it because a wonderful experience. So we were able to connect with people from all over the world, different undergraduate students who are looking to make an impact in different sectors, just listen to the ideas that these people have and the fact that they've been given this platform to be able to learn more on how they can make their ideas bigger and better and help them transform into, instead of just ideas, an actual action. Yeah. So it was a great experience to connect with such people, and also the fact that the things we learned from them were able to get talks from a variety of philanthropists, entrepreneurs, people in so many sectors, just giving us advice and telling us that we can do it. What we're doing now is enough. What we're starting with is okay. And another experience that I had was that I was one of the co-campus directors for my campus, the USIU campus. So through that, we got a bit of extra training, on like leadership skills, how to make sure our cohort is okay. And from that, you're able to learn how to work with different people on a different level, how to compromise and to make sure that everyone in your cohort is okay. And you're still, you're carrying out your projects and not interfering with anyone else's, and just doing things together as a team and moving ahead like that. So it was just a really great experience overall, and we learned so much from it, which is what Esther and I are incorporating into the Africa Counts project right now, as well as our daily lives, our studying and the like.
Excellent. Whereas what would you say have been the challenges? What's been most challenging about doing the fellowship?
I don't know. I think I would say that our biggest challenge initially was the fact that the fellowship normally was an in-person sort of kind of like training. And then 2020 COVID pandemic, we were the first cohort to be fully online to do a virtual Millennium Fellowship. So that was a big challenge for us, for Tara and I. We've never met in person ever. And here we were merging two ideas with someone you've never met before. So, and then sometimes, you had technical difficulties with the internet. And then, of course, again, we had to juggle our classes. So this fellowship is running concurrently with our classes, with exams, with projects. Tara was about to graduate, so she had extra projects and attachments. It was a little bit crazy juggling all of these things up. So those are the challenges we face, but I think those are the normal teething problems that any project would face. And maybe to add on, maybe just one more is the fact that we are undergraduates, so we have a big dream, but it is, I think, good to be honest enough to say that maybe we do lack a few technical or maybe research skills to really, how do I say, to really implement our ideas. However, on the flip side, the good thing is that I think when you have a great idea, somehow these great, amazing mentors and people who are willing to help you, people experts within a certain field, are willing to take up newbies like ourselves and, you know, show us the way and hold our hands. Like, for example, here we are with Dr. Bennett at the Development Council doing an interview for them. So this is really super great. And for us, it's just been really encouraging that despite all these challenges and despite being quite new in the, you know, academic or research field, we can still do it, and people are willing to hold our hand and, you know, lead us along. And it's just been really wonderful.
Excellent. Yeah, I think it's really excellent, and vice versa. We're super pleased to have you in the Development Counts project, because it's doing exactly the sorts of things that we hope students will be interested in. Excellent. So if you were giving advice to current students thinking about taking on a project alongside their studies, what advice would you give students?
So I would say we, or rather Tara and I, learned a quote last year during the Millennium Fellowships. One of the philanthropists that they had brought on board actually told us a quote that I'd never heard of before, but has stuck with us forever. And so this quote is by Arthur Ashe. And the quote is, start where you are, use what you have, do what you can. So sometimes as students, we lack the money, we feel like we lack the technical skills, we lack the knowledge. Sometimes we feel like we're overwhelmed and we lack the time, but it's okay. If you have an idea that, you know, would make a change in your society, you should start where you are. So given that, I would tell undergraduate students, or students at any level actually, because I think it doesn't matter whether you're an undergraduate or a PhD student, the weight of studying and doing something else is the same for everybody. So it's basically to have a good balance. Make sure you choose a project that you're really passionate about, because somewhere along the way, it does get hard. You do want to give up, but if you're really passionate about something, you know, it gives you the energy to, you know, go along with it and the motivation. And yes, basically that's it. So start with something you're really passionate about. Know that it will take time to see the fruits of your labor and have a good balance between your study and your project. I don't know, Tara, do you want to add anything else?
I think you've actually said it all. Like, because personally, from our experience, Esther and I, we had, you know, our late nights and everything, and you'd think like we'd get tired, but we're so energized. We're just like throwing out ideas every time. We'd spend more than 3 hours just talking, and it felt good because this is something we loved doing, something we're passionate about, and you get to meet great people. I mean, I wouldn't have been able to meet Esther or come up with something like this if it wasn't, you know, for the Millennium Fellowship. So it can really change your life, honestly.
Excellent. And if students were thinking specifically about trying for the Millennium Fellowship, do you have any advice about the application?
The first thing would be just go for it. It's something that, as an undergraduate student, as Esther said before, it's not something that we find often for us. Like, there are not many opportunities for us. So this is one specifically for us, and like there are no rules or boundaries that prevent you from actually doing it. So I would say apply as early as possible. As soon as they give the go ahead to start applying, just go ahead, do it fast, and then wait for the rest to continue. So like, I know for now they're choosing the next cohort, so applications will probably open at the end of this year, I believe, or maybe beginning of next year. But once they do, just, and don't apply on your own, get your friends to join in. Like Esther and I learned about it through classmates and people telling us, the previous cohort from USIU sending messages, telling other students, apply, this is a great opportunity. So don't just apply by yourself, tell your friends about it. If you're telling people from other campuses, go ahead, like it's an amazing opportunity. And know that no idea is too big or too small. So if you have something you're passionate about and you see a way that you can make an impact in that field, then put your idea. Like, no idea is bad. Actually, yeah, no idea is bad. So just go with it, and you might find people with the same passions, the same interests, and you might, come together the way Esther and I did, creating something even bigger than what she expected. So yeah, I think that would be my advice.
Excellent. Any other tips or things you'd want to share with our students?
I don't know, maybe just to add on to what Tara said about the application process for the Millennium Fellowship, it could be a bit daunting. I remember when I was doing my individual application, and they ask you for a specific project and how many lives are you going to impact and how are you going to measure your impact. It can feel a little bit intimidating, but like Tara said, just go for it. It doesn't have to be a project that's currently existing. It could be just something in your mind that you came up with or you've just come up with. So don't feel intimidated. And I believe that change comes through, as young people, we should be able to, take on the mantle to bring change in our societies. We don't have to wait until, we are really super old and, we have like several doctorates under our belt. We can do it, and everyone has an idea, no matter how big or no matter how small. Your idea counts, and the fact that already you're in this course, the development counts course, shows that you feel compelled and called to make a change. So absolutely, go for it. And each in our own little ways we make a change, and then when we combine it, it's going to just be like massive impact around the world. Yeah.
Oh, and to add on to that, when you apply, there's that little box that asks you if you want to try and become a campus director. Please say yes.
Yes.
It's just say yes. It's a good opportunity. You gain leadership skills, and it's not a difficult task. It just teaches you how to work with people from different areas, and it also gives you an opportunity to interact with certain people on a deeper level than you would if you want campus director. Yeah. So, and also make use of the connections that you make when you're there. But yeah.
Excellent.
Rachel, maybe I could just add one final thing.
Yeah, of course.
Before we wrap up. So this has nothing to do with the Millennium Fellowship. We know that the development counts course is geared more towards data skills. Yes. Yes, so maybe I could plug in something. Being a biostatistician, I need to plug in a little bit on the data side. So Tara and I are hoping the data that we will collect, or the data that we will get from secondary data, we are hoping to tell stories that actually highlight gaps and contribute towards health equity. So I would advise and encourage your students. There's so much content online. It's amazing how many free webinars are there. Like there's the R Ladies community, super community, Python. There's there's so much out there for students to, basically connect with other people. And the good thing is that there's a lot of things for beginners as well. I know people get a bit daunted when they hear about data and they think statistics. Oh my God, data, I need to know how to code. I will never know how to do these things. So there's this really amazing stuff you could do with data to tell stories and in a way that people understand, but also in a factual way. So it's good for students to, to research and, make use of all these free and available platforms and opportunities that are there to develop their data skills. We are also still learning, but so far it's been an amazing journey. And I think I had someone say at some point that data is the new gold. So guys, we're at the right place at the right time.
That's excellent. Thanks, Esther. And yeah, we have a quote earlier in the course about data is the new oil, but I like the data is the new gold one. More environmentally friendly. But that's great. Thanks, both. So this interview sits within a module that has lots of links and advice on other places to go for resources to keep developing skills. So that's great to hear that you guys would also advise that.